The Pirates, Brewers, Cards, and Reds are now 2 games up on the Cubs and didn't have to do anything to earn it. All they had to do was just sit back and wait for the Cubs to shoot their normal, which is being inept. It's your boy Pay. It's Holy Cow Cubs, brought to you by the Frustrated Chicago Sports Fan channel. The Dodgers swept the Cubs at the Guggenheim Tokyo Series by a combined score of 10-4. Let me recap each game before I get into my overall displeasure with what I saw in the opening 2 games of the 2025 Major League Baseball season. Cubs scored first in this game, doubled a deep left from Amaya that played at Swanson, who was on first base off of getting the first hit of the game. That was in the second inning of the game, and that was the only bit of scoring the Cubs did all game. In fact, they only got 1 more hit the rest of the game, and that was an infield single. Infield single from Happ in the 3rd inning. 16 straight batters retired before Birdie was hit by a pitch in the 8th inning and was awarded first base. 5 of those batters struck out, and 14 of the 16 couldn't even get the ball out of the infield. That's worse than trash. That's pathetic. Even for the first game of the season, pretty brutal. Not a very good promising showing on the offense. The Cubs 1-2-3 hitters, Happ, Suzuki, Tucker, combined to go 1 for 10 with 3 strikeouts in the first game of the season. Got to be better than that. Let's move on to the defense. The defense and the pitching wasn't as flat as the offense, but it ain't helped too much. Imanaga, Japanese-born Imanaga, was there showing out in front of his homies. He was pulled at the beginning of the 5th inning after 4 innings of no-hit ball. And that was the game inflection point. Right there. Right then and there. Ben Brown, who's in his 2nd major league season with the Cubs, was the first player out of the pen for the 2025 version of the Chicago Cubs. You all remember Ben Brown, right? He gave up 22 runs last year in 15 appearances, 41 hits in 55 innings. And this was all before his season was cut short due to an injury that he sustained in June. I'll go into what I think about his performance and the decision to have him come be the first guy out the pen later. But he gave up 3 runs on 3 hits that inning. Again, we were coming into this inning not giving up any hits. Then we get 3 for 3 in that. The Dodgers got another run on the top of the 9th off of some beautifully executed hitting. Ohtani reached across the plate to slap a double into the corner right field. Edmonds grounded out to the opposite side of the diamond to move Ohtani, to advance Ohtani to third base. And then Hernandez got a hit just deep enough into left field so that Ohtani can score with ease. That's that's beautiful baseball right there. And, just moving the runner across. Nothing had to be, you didn't have to uppercut anything into the stands. Hit the ball where it needed to be hit so the runner can move across and score. Perfect. Silver lining for the first game, it could have been worse. The Dodgers left 11 men on base, and Justin Tucker pitch hit it in the bottom of the 9th so he can make his 17th season debut against the team that he spent the most time with. In case you didn't know, he spent 9 seasons with the Dodgers. So shout out to him. Moving on, today's game. Second game of the 2-game series. The story of today's game was pitching. In particular, the starting pitching. I don't think either starter was sharp for the Cubs or the Dodgers, but let's focus on Justin Steele. Justin Steele is probably going to be should be our best pitcher. But he gave up 5 hits and 5 runs and 4 innings of work in today's game. Not his best showing, and he's going to be better. So I'm not going to drag that out too much further. But second game of the season, first game of the season for him, barely able to get out of the 4th inning. And you heard 5 hits, 5 runs. Cubs lose 6-3. Here's my thoughts on the series. Major League Baseball is in Tokyo right now to get the money. Showcase the Japanese stars of the Dodgers and the Cubs. This whole Tokyo series showcasing the Guggenheim Dodgers of LA versus the Chicago Cubs in the Tokyo series, brought to you by Guggenheim themselves, is all about the money. The commissioner says it's going to be upwards of $35 million in revenue just off this 2-game series, in addition to the 2-game exhibitions that these two teams played before the 2 games that we saw on Fox or Marquee if you're in Chicago. With that being said, winning wasn't the primary thing on everybody's mind there. It's money, right? You've got 180 games left for all that winning stuff. Hell, the fact that the Dodgers started Suzuki today, who isn't their number 2 starter, Suzuki, another Japanese player, the fact that they started him and didn't pitch Tyler Scott at all today, who was their everyday closer, tells me that the Dodgers were okay with a split. They didn't care about winning today. And again, money was the main thing here. They knew what they were there for. They're here to play to the fans, and get the bread. That's it. That's all. Get in, get out. And if you didn't know that Ohtani home run should tell you everything about it. That was not a home run. It was fair. It should have been a ground rule double. But I don't care. I'm not even going to split too bad. But the way the Cubs looked, as bad as they looked, is going to irk me. Dodgers won with ease these 2 games, and that's without Freddie Freeman or Mookie Betts. And those are 2 day 1 Hall of Famers, and the Dodgers still rolled out of bed and spanked the Cubs' ass, belt to ass, easily. As inept as Suzuki looked, is really going to irk me as well. This is a showcase for Japanese stars, and he was the lone one that was absent. 0 for 8 in the series with 3 strikeouts. Yamamoto balled for the Dodgers. Ibanez balled for the Cubs. Suzuki, he wasn't terrible. And Ohtani was a star of stars. At what point do we have to start questioning Suzuki's ceiling? And if he's ever going to reach it? Another thing, what's the point of spring training if our opening day pitchers are being pulled in the beginning of the 5th inning of a no-hitter? Come on, if we over there getting money, what would be the best thing? But to see a Japanese star throw a no-hitter? You got to ride that out. How are we 5-in and diving in March? That makes no sense. Again, I understand we got 180 games left in the season. There's no reason to go balls to the wall in March. But come on, bro. We have the Dodgers. We have the Diamondbacks after this series in another 8 days. And so I'm starting to be a little concerned. We can't have another slow start. We had 2 slow starts the last 2 seasons, and we chased it all season, and we eventually ran out of gas come September. We cannot have that again. We cannot have another situation in which we're chasing it all season. We've got to understand who we are and go get it early. Again, our schedule looks terrible all the way up until mid-April. That's the first reason why we haven't made the playoffs in the last 2 seasons. Second reason is the bullpen. Ben Brown coming out of the pen first. Again, somebody who missed majority of last season because of injury is the first guy out of the pen. And you saw what he had. The Dodgers was all over his stuff. No, did he? You can't do this. You can't do this to ourselves again. You can't do this to ourselves again. Let's not shoot ourselves in the foot again this season. Let's be better than the Brewers, the Cardinals, and the Reds. We can't just rest our laurels and just being better than the White Sox. Because let's be honest, one's better than the White Sox. We have to shoot for higher goals. Go Cubs.
Thanks for listening to this latest edition from the Frustrated Chicago Sports Fan channel.
Whether you listen to this on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or watching on YouTube, make sure you like, subscribe, share with a friend, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a drop. And all my homies from Chicago, we say three things: bear down, go Cubs go, and sell the team, Jerry.